RSPB, I'm going to give you a 5-minute update on the latest science, the biodiversity crisis. This is for teachers, just to help with your teaching practice. Up above me, you can see Miles Richardson's biodiversity stripes going from a deep green in 1970 to those greys that we see in the present day. We're losing biodiversity. Internationally, there is a strategy. The COP16 in Colombia was talking all about biodiversity, this variety of life on Earth. And there is a 30 by 30 target. Countries are committed to protecting and restoring 30% of land and oceans by 2030. And there's plenty of work to do. In the UK, last year in 2023, several people got together for the State of Nature Partnership, including the NHM, the Wildlife Trust, the Woodland Trust, the National Trust, Bat Conservation Trust, loads and loads of different organisations putting together information on the trends and abundance and distribution for terrestrial, freshwater and marine species across the country. The news is not great. Worldwide, we know we're losing biodiversity, but the UK in particular is pretty desperate. We are down at 30% or 40% of our biodiversity intactness index. And so we're one of the most nature depleted countries in the world. Plenty of work to do. There's a significant decline in wildlife populations, around about 19%, but some species are far worse than that. 1 in 6 are threatened with extinction, and there's only a small number of habitats that are considered in good condition. Specifically, we could look at numbers. 43% of birds are groups in decline, 31% of amphibians and reptiles, 18% of pollinators, 54% of all plant species. But the good news for this is actually a lot of the data was collected by citizen scientists. And citizen scientists, they're people like us. They go out and they do things like the Big Garden Bird Watch from the RSPB and count the number of species and what we're seeing. And so that really helps these organisations put that data together. Hugely important and something fantastic to do in school. We know we're already in the 6th mass extinction internationally, and if you look at the colours in red and orange here, those are the species most threatened with extinction or becoming endangered. And it is a serious issue because this is the world that the young people are growing in our classrooms are growing up in. There are always useful to share positive stories. Some freshwater insects, such as dragonflies, are improving, and that's because people are putting in lots of ponds and protecting them. And there's other hope for restoration projects like NEP in West Sussex, huge biodiversity project, and biodiversity there is thriving. Amazing news. Internationally, there's good news stories. We've got the Brazilian Amazon deforestation fell by 75% under Lula da Silva's previous presidency, and they're falling again in this term. So strong leadership is vital. Education on protected areas would be great in school. Awareness about wildlife-friendly farming, forestry and fisheries practices. Buy sustainable fish if you can. Create more, bigger, messier places for wildlife and support targeted species recovery. How about every class in school having one particular species that they promote and care for and raise awareness on? We can all take a role to accelerate nature recovery. Specifically, here's some ideas. You could access your Ministry of Eco-Education account and use your big questions to green your curriculum, especially on the nature theme. You could join the National Education Nature Park initiative and green your spaces around the school estate. You could think about the school dinners that you're putting on and buy sustainable foods. Use ProVeg, they've got some great resources. Or you could run a drop-down biodiversity day and involve the Wildlife Trust to get the kids talking about biodiversity and what it means to them and why it's so important. So many amazing projects that you could do in school. Why don't you think about one to do next year? And good luck.